Welcome. So, first training we're going to get into is going to be which property types to focus on and which ones to stay away from. You know, for the longest time, folks have been out there looking at mainly one property type, which are apartments. And folks get it, apartments, it's like houses in a box. It's something very easy to grasp your head around, a real simple concept. But, apartments are not the only property type out there. We can also focus on other recession-proof property types. Of course, apartments are recession-proof because when somebody loses their home, unfortunately, if that event happens, then they go right into an apartment. But with that, if they had a bunch of goods, if they had a bunch of stuff, they need a place to put it. So where are they going to put it? Self-storage. And self-storage is like the mini niche. It's like a hidden gem within real estate. Folks look at these large facilities, hundreds of units, and it's hard to wrap your head around it. You think maybe you have to be a landlord and have to look at all those tenant agreements and deal with that property all the time. But the fact is this, hire the professionals and let them do what they do best, and we simply focus on what we do best. Being a facilitator of these types of projects is where the true wealth building opportunity is. The folks that are out there that swap hours for dollars and manage property as a landlord, or they're out there and they're working just one particular property, being a project manager, those are the folks that it's not a real wealth building opportunity. Those are the folks that are still swapping hours for dollars. When you are able to delegate the responsibilities and learn and understand what they are, it opens up a world of true wealth for you. So self-storage is one of these properties where when you have hundreds of units, you have hundreds of checks coming in. That's passive income. I know you'd like to have hundreds of checks coming in each and every single month, even if they're smaller, even if those boxes were only renting out for, say, 100 here or 300 there. It all adds up, and you could accumulate thousands, if not tens of thousands, in monthly income. Now, there's some statistics for self-storage. Statistic number one is that there's over 50,000 self-storage facilities in the US. Being that there's 70% of those are owned by everyday mom and pop, independent operators. So when you're dealing with those projects, they are truly the easiest. They're the easiest to negotiate. They're the easiest to pre-screen. And there's another statistic that I know you're going to like. With self-storage, they say that 95 percentile of individuals who actually rent, they stay one full year. And not only that, but most folks only show up one time, the day they rent. That's it. And of course, when they move out. So they're not there to visit their items. They set it and forget it. This is a phenomenal recession-proof property type. Now, the next is this. If somebody happens to have an unfortunate chain of events, they lose their home, right? Then they move into an apartment. They got a bunch of stuff. Let's say they can't afford to put them in a self-storage facility, right? They got to sell everything. Well, what happens if they can't even afford to move into that apartment? Where do they end up? On the street? Now, mobile home parks, and these are absolute cash cows. Mobile home parks are these types of property that are valued in a different way. Most of property types like office retail and apartments, they're all valued by dollar per square foot, which is a cap rate formula, which I'll get to in a few minutes. But with mobile home parks, they're valued as of the income stream and also the land value, because they're nothing more than just a bunch of pad sites built on land. So mobile home parks are cash cows because you can put them to a higher and better use. In our current day and age right now, we have a situation happening. There's baby boomer situation, and that is creating a massive amount of inheritance property. When people inherit a property, first thing they want to do is liquidate it and sell it. But there are some other property types that are recession proof. Number one is assisted living. Assisted living is one of these property types where we're owning the box, but we're letting a business lease from us and operate the actual assisted living facility, because you have Medicaid, Medicare, bed licenses, and things of this nature. But what's better than assisted living is the next recession-proof property type, which is senior living facilities. Now, this is what they call 55 plus active seniors. They'll pay a huge premium to be able to occupy a basic apartment, but they're gonna be taken care of in three fashions. The first one is meals. So they're going to be cooked for. Second one is transportation. They're going to be driven around. And third is housekeeping. So they're paying a premium for these three type of amenities. And because of that, you can get in on one of these property types with none of your own money or credit or any previous experience. It's because we're facilitators. We understand that solving the problem is where the money's at. And if you think any different, then obviously you're possibly a retail player. You know, retail players, they use something. They use something called a cap rate formula. And a cap rate formula is what we call conventional wisdom. We don't use cap rate formula. Not when we buy, only when we sell. But why would we want to sell when we can hold for long-term financial security? And if you don't have that long-term financial security, then you should look into this opportunity a little deeper. You see, using a cap rate formula with conventional wisdom, cap rate formula is when you take the net operating income and you divide it by their asking price, meaning the purchase price. That kicks out a number. That number is a measuring stick that brokers and sellers and conventional buyers use to go ahead and locate and purchase this property, which is called an acquisition. We're not interested in using a cap rate, because if we're using a cap rate, then we're buying at retail price, and we're just not retail price buyers. We're not here getting set up to put down 20 up to 50% cash down, personally signing for loans and things of this nature. That's not what our focus is. Our focus is to locate the low-hanging fruit, where sellers are bending over backwards to offer seller financing all the way up to like 95%, and even in some cases 100%. Now, there's some strategies and there's some additional techniques in these future trainings that I have for you, but understand that we're focused on these recession-proof property types where we can locate these in your own backyard, right outside the big cities, in the affluent areas, population around 50,000 or more. And these properties can be managed and looked after by the professionals, which enables us to sit back and reap the benefits of that positive cash flow. You need positive cash flow in your life. You truly do. This is a vehicle that can get you to wealth. And once you create that, rich people, they make a windfall of money, and then at that point, a lot of times they become broke again. What I'm talking about is building wealth. Once you go ahead and you create that income stream and you harness those riches and that money, it's about creating and building future wealth. So many people are scared of their retirement, but there's retirement plans that can be pushed right into you owning a company that owns commercial real estate and any type of real estate, a nice portfolio. These tactics and these strategies, they're in place. Countless of my students are out there across the nation already doing it. Chances are, if you're an investor, you're doing more work than's needed. Truly, you can focus on the right strategies and techniques to make it happen, and I can show you how to get there. So I hope you enjoyed this quick training on locating these recession-proof type of opportunities, because recession properties are the ones to go after. You got to stay away from the risk play and focus on the recession-proof property types. So enjoy the other two videos, and when you have a second, go ahead and leave a comment. I read all these comments. Go ahead and read the comment below and enjoy. Okay, I appreciate your feedback. I read them all. And get to one of my trainings first chance you get. Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity to join me and be a part of my family. And that's truly what I've created here, is a family of wealth. And I look forward to having you a part of my future training. Okay, this is Terry. Thanks for attending.